Well, good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Chesley McNeil. Give me a moment here just to adjust my maps, and I'll show you what's going on around the forecast area as far as the rainfall goes. We just ended our broadcast on WXIA, and now we want to shift gears and show you exactly what you can expect as you head throughout the day today. Most of the heavy rain now to the east of the city of Atlanta. That's where you're going to find some of that heavy rain coming down. Haven't seen much in the way of any lightning strikes at all, just that very heavy rain. You see that line has pushed through our area. We still have some moderate pockets back off to the west that will continue to push through. The good news is that we're already starting to see it come to an end over toward Alabama, and that's going to be our trend as we head through the morning. In fact, before the sun rises, I think a lot of the heavy rain at least will be well east of us. We'll still be dealing with some scattered showers. Really a nuisance for us more so than anything else. We haven't seen much in the way of any severe weather around here. The winds will still be quite strong, not up to severe criteria. For us to have a severe thunderstorm warning, for example, we need those winds to get up to about 58 plus miles per hour. Haven't seen that as of yet, but we still could see those winds. Even though we don't have much in the way of thunderstorms around, we still could see those winds on the strong side. Again, much of the heavy rain right now, you can see over toward Banks County. This is Homer here, Commerce, that orange that you see in there, some very heavy rain coming down. Where we have that red, certainly some heavy rain there. And again, no lightning strikes associated with it as well. Gainesville, Murraysville, over toward Juneau, your rain is light to moderate. That's the way it's going to be for the rest of the morning. You got a little moderate pocket over here toward Cartacay, south of Sussex as well, down toward Canton on 575, heading further down to the south. It's a wet commute for you this morning, folks, no matter where you are, especially if you have to leave the house within the next, I say if you're leaving in the next half hour, you're still going to be dealing with the rain. Unless you're going to wait it out all morning long, the wet weather will be with you. Now, it should be out of the way by the time we get toward 9 and 10 o'clock, but that wet weather will be with us. And again, we'll have some moderate pockets around. You can see over here toward Mountain Park, for example, where we have that light green in there. That's very light rain. But back behind it, it's some moderate rain that will be coming your way. So if you're in the area of Mountain Park, over toward Redan and parts of DeKalb County, you'll be dealing with some of this heavy rain momentarily. We got it over the city right now. Even here in Midtown, above our heads, we can hear that very heavy rain coming down. But again, that will get out of the way, and then we'll wind up like Douglasville, for example, with some light rain coming down. Fairplay as well in Douglas County got the light rain. Down toward Locust Grove, this is southern Henry County here, between McDonough and Locust Grove, got some heavy rain. Just south of you, very heavy rain coming down, indicated by that red there. But again, no lightning strikes so far, so looking good. Much of the severe weather has been well south of our area. We're talking way down toward the Gulf Coast states. Panhandle of Florida right now, in fact, under a tornado watch there. That's where most of that severe weather has hung out and continues to be there. We'll widen this out for you a little bit here, and you can see down here to the south is where we've had the severe weather. In fact, over the Panhandle, just north of Panama City right now is where they have a tornado warning. Much of that weather will stay down to the south, so it will impact the southern portions of our state. We'll say the central and southern portions of the state is where you'll find that south of Macon, where we have that very heavy rain intact. Again, just playing with the radar here just to show you. You can see down toward Thomaston now, that very heavy line. I'm going to put this in motion. You can see where that will continue to slide further over toward the east. Our dew points here to the north have been on the low side, lower than 50. For example, maybe just above the 50 mark. Once you get into the 60s is where you start to see or really want that juicy atmosphere to get into some of that richness for the thunderstorms to really develop. And we have not seen that here up to the north. And so really just a nuisance rain for us. Again, much of the heavy rain now advancing a little bit further over toward the east. We have it over toward the Athens area and will continue to slide eastward as we head through the morning. A little bit lighter back off to our west, and that will be our trend for the rest of the morning, looking at that rain beginning to subside just a little bit. So far, you can see where we've had some of that rain approaching the half an inch mark in some spots so far. And so we'll continue to watch that. For example, you over in College Park, you're looking at temperatures in the 50s. And that's the thing. The temperatures will be on the mild side as we head through the day, expecting those temperatures to be approaching the 60-degree mark in a lot of spots today, with that wind out of the south helping to boost those temperatures up a little bit. We talked about the severe weather. This light green shade just means a general threat for thunderstorms, and that's all we've seen so far this morning. I could probably count as the number of lightning strikes I've seen on one hand. maybe 5 or 6 lightning strikes. That's been about it so far this morning. Much of that has been to the south. And even those that were over toward the west of us have been subsiding a little bit, or has been starting to die out as it moved into our state. We do have a level 1 threat for severe weather. That's a marginal risk, level 1 out of a possible 5. We'll say including the Athens area southward, this dark green shade that you see. So some of our counties that will experience that. You're talking about places like Henry County, for example, southern Henry County in that dark green, Butts County, Spalding County included in that as well. Upson County, you're included in it. We could see an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm in that area. South of that is where we have the level 2 threat. So down toward Macon and southward is where we have the level 2 threat, or a slight risk for severe weather, where we could see even the isolated tornadoes begin to pop up. Now, because that rain will be a little bit longer down to the south, that's where some of that severe weather could be. They've taken any threats of any thunderstorms out of the Rome area right now, and this will continue to subside as we head through much of the day. Winds, the other story for us. Current winds, we've been seeing those winds up to about 15, 16 miles per hour, even 20 mile per hour winds. Light for the most part when you look area wide, but we're expecting those winds really start to pick up. When I came in this morning, those winds were really out of the east, now shifting more southerly. The front itself is still back off to the west of us. As that continues to push through, those winds will get a little stronger on us. Even as the front passes by, those winds will start to pick up out of the west behind the front, and they will be on the strong side as well. And because of that, we have a wind advisory for the entire viewing area. As you can see, looking at those winds anywhere between 20 and 30 miles per hour. Gusts could be in the 40 mile per hour range. Now, with winds, sustained winds up to 20 miles per hour, that could cause some damage, especially to weak trees. Limbs could fly around. Any loose trees, because of the saturated ground, could be knocked over. That could hit some power lines, of course, and that could lead to some power outages. This wind advisory will last until midnight tonight, expecting those winds to stay with us. Even though the rain will subside, the winds will stay with us right on through the rest of the afternoon. Plenty of problems on the roadways out there. Let's throw it over to Crash Clark. Take a look right now.
Yeah, Chesley, as you can imagine, once the bulk of this rain really started rolling through about 6 o'clock this morning, the rush hour just folded faster than Superman on laundry day. Here we go. This was the one we've been keeping an eye on. This is some video we took from the scene, a tractor trailer that went right off the road on I-75 southbound past Highway 92, not only going right off the road, but just sliding in that wet grass into the trees. Now, the good news is we did not have any reports of any injury, so hopefully, other than his ego, that driver is going to be all right. But you can see that person right there slipping and sliding. Let's go to the scene now, because what they've done, they've made this even more of a red alert, because now all lanes are completely blocked. They had only that right lane blocked while they were assessing the situation. There was a secondary wreck in that area, but now we've got the heavy duty wrecker hooking that thing up, and all lanes are completely blocked. And this is going to take a little while. This is not an easy process to pull these heavy tractor trailers out of the woods and the trees. So let's get you around it. Let's get up to it. And here it is again in Ackworth as you're making your way south on 75 past Highway 92. Again, it is in the trees off to the right, but as we just saw from that live sky tracker, it is now blocking all lanes. And oh boy, those delays are big back towards the Allatoona Bridge. Get yourself over to Highway 41, Cobb Parkway. That is your best bet as an alternate. And you don't want to return on Highway 92 because the wreck is past Highway 92. So stay with Highway 41, Cobb Parkway for a little while. We'll get back to that one in a second. This one's been a real big thorn in our side. This wreck looked minor at first, blocking up a left lane on 575 south near Bells Ferry, but all of a sudden they've been out there forever and a day. So big delays for our friends coming in from Holly Springs and Woodstock, even as far up as Canton. So be prepared. Bells Ferry may give you a little bit of help. Highway 5 also might help you, but things are really jammed. This has just been a mess. We had multiple problems on 285 northbound near Memorial Drive. There's still a couple of cars off to the right of the road, but as the volume picked up, those delays stretched all the way back towards I-20, obviously having an impact on I-20 for our friends out of Lithonia. 85 South, Gwinnett County started with a multi-car wreck in the 2 left lanes. They're just doing the paperwork off to the right. But as you can imagine, I-85 took a 1-2 punch, and that's why the bottom of your screen there, I-85 is condition red. Almost 30 minutes from 316 down to the junction, 400 filling up, had a wreck southbound at Northridge. They've cleared that one out of the way. 75, what are y'all doing right that we don't know about? 12 quick minutes from Barrett Parkway to the perimeter, but keep it a slow 12 minutes, 55 miles an hour, but we're going to hold you at condition green. And I'm not done yet, folks. I've got so much to talk about. How about that West Expressway? This crash blocking up multiple right lanes. You can see traffic barely squeaking by in that left lane. This is I-20 eastbound at MLK, and that is jamming your ride solid back to the perimeter. We even have reports, Chesley, of standing water out there on I-20 near H.E. Homes, but no surprise with all this rain coming down.
All right, thanks a lot, Crash. Yeah, that rain has been heavy at times. You're looking at some video here that we shot earlier. You can see those wet roadways out there. The wind's blowing just a little bit, but we're expecting those winds really to pick up. That rain causes some issues for you folks that you need to slow down, and so it's going to be a slow go of it, at least for the rest of the morning. The good news is that some of the heaviest rain now is starting to shift a little bit further to the east of the city of Atlanta, so traffic should start to pick up just a little bit, but the road's already soggy, as Crash has been mentioning all morning long, so be careful on those roads. I want to show you a live look now over into Georgia 400 over by the King and Queen building. If you take my picture there, you can see where still a little bit soggy. Winds starting to pick up just a little bit. You see the flag there kind of flapping around just a little bit. I think later on this morning it'll really start to be flapping around as those winds really start to pick up on us. That's going to be the other story. Rain around for this morning, winds really the issue as we head into the afternoon. And again, we're talking about winds up to about maybe, or gusts up to about 40 miles per hour. That could cause some problems for you. Even driving around, those of you who have those high profile vehicles, definitely want to keep two hands on the wheel or maybe switch over to a different car, at least for this morning, as those winds will be with us right on through the rest of the afternoon. I talked about the heaviest rain shifting now over toward the east, and that's where you'll find it. So over toward the Athens area, north of that, some very heavy rain that's coming down. East of that, or west of that, you can see where we have some moderate pockets here and there, but a lot of that heavy rain now has begun to shift a little bit further over toward our east. Fortunate enough that we have not seen those winds get up to the severe category so far this morning. That's a bright side for us. More of a nuisance around for this morning. That's what we'll be dealing with, this nuisance rain that's out there. Let me get out of the way here a little bit. You can show you that heavy rain that's well over toward the east of us. This is Banks County here, where you have Homer, and you can see that heavy rain coming down, indicated by that red in there. The orange indicates that heavy rain as well. Surrounding that is the yellow, which indicates moderate rainfall. And even with the moderate rainfall, it's steady, where your windshield wipers have to keep going. You get into the light rain once you get into these lighter greens that are intermittently in here. For example, over toward Juneau in Dawson County, got light rain, but you had your bout of heavy rain. You'll get more, maybe a moderate pocket or two that will come through. I suspect the rain will be with you for the next 2 hours or so before it begins to subside. Jasper over into Cartacay, pretty much the same for you. Canton right now with the moderate rain coming down. This is I-575, and so you'll be dealing with that. The northern end dealing with the moderate rain. The closer you get to the city, it'll be off and on you. You'll be riding in and out of it as you head through the morning. Back down toward the city now. Got a nice little dose of heavy rain here that just passed over Midtown. That's sliding a little further over toward the east now, moving into DeKalb County. That very heavy rain, no lightning strikes associated with it, but it's right along I-20 where folks are coming into work. So you're going to get hit by this heavy rain as you're moving along I-20 heading over toward the west. Forest Park as well, down toward Irondale into Clayton. Dealing with some of that moderate rain, but again, the heaviest of which is still over toward our east now. Covington into Madison, that's where most of the heavy rain is now. Down toward McDonough into southern Henry County, it's on the light side, especially over toward Locust Grove. Griffin here in Spalding County, starting to lighten up just a little bit. You had some very heavy rain this morning as well. Now that has shifted over toward the east, over toward Monticello now. You have the heavy rain to deal with. For the rest of us, again, it's on the light side. So about as much as a half inch of rainfall when it's all said and done. I think when we start to add it up, you may get some spots, some localized spots with up to an inch of rainfall. Again, more of a nuisance for us this morning. The good news is that it'll be out of the way before the sun begins to rise, but you won't see much of it because we have the clouds that are out there right now. Again, our severe weather threat has been down to the south and east of us, most of which we've been seeing over toward the Gulf Coast states. Right down toward our Gulf cities, dealing with some of that severe weather. In fact, right now, Panama City, just to the north of Panama City, there is a tornado warning down there. That's where all the severe weather has been. Storm Prediction Center has been looking at the areas north of that. So even in our southern suburbs, talked about Locust Grove, you're included in this level 1 threat. It's a marginal risk for severe weather. That means isolated strong storms possible in your area. I don't think you're going to see much of that, at least for this morning, because we already had that heavy rain. I think you're fine. When looking at that warm front, And really, as that warm front begins to lift to the north, that's when some juicy air can move into our area. But I think most of the rain will be gone by then, so we really don't have to deal with or worry too much about severe weather in our area. What we will have to worry about, even once the rain is out of here, will be those winds. All right, those winds not as strong so far this morning, but expecting those to begin to pick up. You can see the highlighted counties, and that's much of North Georgia into the southern states, as southern portions of our state as well, under a wind advisory. All right, that wind advisory will last until midnight tonight. We're looking at sustained winds anywhere between 20 and 30 miles per hour. The gusts could be as high as 40 miles per hour. With winds like that, it could do some damage. Okay, not only to your home, maybe the siding of your home, but also to any weak trees that happen to fall could lead to some power outages. So we'll be on the lookout for that. But again, if you don't have to go out this morning, deal with the rain, wait till this afternoon, but you'll still have to deal with the wind. Crash, back over to you.
All right, Chesley, we've got more problems up here, and we've got to look off to the right of your screen there, up against that barrier sound wall. It looks like this vehicle is on its side and possibly even on top of another vehicle. This is 85 southbound before Hamilton Mill. As you can see here, all lanes are blocked. Highway 124 is going to be your best bet for an alternate. Speaking of all lanes being blocked, they're still trying to drag this tractor trailer out of the trees on 75 southbound past Highway 92. The rain continues to fall, and this is going to be quite a process. So we've got major delays coming down from Lake Allatoona. Highway 41, Cobb Parkway is going to be your best bet for an alternate. And again, we're getting reports of flooding throughout the metro area. This wreck on I-20 eastbound at MLK, only that far left lane is open. Solid delays back to the perimeter, and that's one of the areas we're getting reports of flooding near HE Homes. Folks, we're going to have an update on the weather and traffic at 7:26, and we'll continue to update you at 11alive.com.